We're going to continue with another session that's about the special properties of carbon. Carbon normally in organic compounds, this is the major component or the major constituent which made the organic compound. So we say that carbon is the major component or element of organic compounds compared to the other element. Why we say this is the major compound in organic compound compared with the other element is due to the following properties as shown below. We start with the first reason why we say that carbon is the major constituent of organic compound with a special property as follows. So the first one is about the tetravalence. When we say tetravalence, this we mean that the ability of an carbon atom to have 4 valence or combining power or sharing power of its electrons. So it means that when you say tetravalence, seems like that when the carbon have 4 charge. So this is what we call tetravalence. We say it's tetravalence due to this one. We can write the electronic configurations about the carbon. So we know that a carbon have atomic number of 6. So from its electronic configuration, it will be helium, 2s orbital with 2 electrons, and 2p with 2 electrons, which is shown that there is 6 electrons. So through drawing its orbit, we can show that this 1s had have 2 electrons, and this 2s with 2 electrons. So this we know that there is suborbital that's only 1 with 2 electrons, and also 2p with 3 suborbitals. So from these 3 suborbitals, we know that here there is 2 electrons that will be at this one and this one. So it means that here we have 6 electrons. This is the electronic configuration of carbon. So from that now we're going to make an 4 valence or a combining power that is 4 or tetravalence by making a thing we call hybridizations. So through hybridization, it means that these 2s orbital, it will transform its electrons to the higher energy level. So through transforming this one, it's come to form this structure that is this one. It will be 4 orbitals. So by transforming that to make hybridizations, it will have 4 suborbitals, and this one it will be 2s. And also here it will be 2p. So from here now, this one it will be 1. So from here it will be 1 electrons. So reverse again this. It will be 1 electrons, 1 electrons, 1 electrons, 1 electrons. So it means that when it is 2s and 2p sharing its electrons by moving it from low energy level to the high energy level to make it on transforms, it means that it will be seems like such a way, and until the end now this is the hybridized orbital. So this is the hybridized orbital. So this hybridized orbital, we say that is like 4 charges, that is the tetravalence. Why we say it is a tetravalence? Due to this vacuum orbital. This vacuum orbital. This vacuum orbital, it means that N maybe the hydrogen or the oxygen or the chlorine, whatever, it can attach from this one in order to stabilize the carbon atom. So it means that it lost the 4 electrons. So it means that it wants 4 electrons to make it its compatibility into stabilization. So from that now, this is what we call tetravalence of the carbons. So now we're going to back to the second property. The second property is concerned with catenation. Catenation, this will say that is ability of forming a long chain or cyclic compound due to the small size of carbon, which results in a strong bond to form a long chain of carbons. So it means that the skeleton that should be formed between carbon and carbon and carbon to form a longest chain, this situation we call catenations. Why the carbon have a bit of doing so? Have a bit of doing so since it have a small size. So catenation so that is the ability of carbon atom to form a long chain of skeletal carbon or cyclic compound with carbon skeleton. So it means that the ability of the organic compound to form a long chain or a cyclic compound, we can see that this situation is called catenations. Why have a bit of doing so since I have a small in size? So we can look about that aspect by backing on an example that the example that we can observe from this one. So example that we say this is catenation. It means that the carbon atom maybe have a chain of like this way, and until to a certain number of carbon chains. So it means that the longest chain maybe is propane, maybe the hexane, and so forth. We can observe that this situation of having the longest chains is what we call catenations. So another case we can look on the part of cyclic, we can look like a cyclopropane. The cyclopropane is it seems like this way. The cyclopropane it seems like this way, maybe this way. So here it will be CH2, here is CH2, and here is CH2. So from this one, this is cyclopropane. So this one, the ability of forming the cyclic form or the longest chains of carbon atoms, this is what we call catenations. So now we're going to back it to the third property. The third property is about a bit of forming multiple bonds. A bit of forming multiple bonds. Carbon have a bit of forming multiple bonds due to its bond. It means that I have a bit of bonding with 4 bonds. So from that 4 bonds, for sometimes according to the nature of the reactions that is existed between the carbon and the carbon chain, or the carbon and another element, it can be in a different bonds. So this bond, it can be single, it may be a double bond, or it can be triple bonds. So this bond is what we call a bit of forming a multiple bond. That this one is some special property of carbon, but for some time you can observe for other elements like oxygen, like nitrogen, and so forth, but it can't exist like a carbon. So carbon, it seems to be quite different from those elements, but this one is different. And the another thing, so we're going to look at the 4th character. The 4th character is about the strength bond between strength of bonds between carbon and other element. it means that the strength that we're going to look here may be the carbon and the carbon, or the carbon and the hydrogen. This bond, it exists into strongly forms. So it means that the bond that exists between maybe carbon and carbon, or carbon and hydrogen, is very, very, very compressed and strong. So it means that this is among of the special property of carbon. So from that, now today we're going to end here, and I know that for the another session we will continue to describe a sentence that we call the difference between the organic compound and inorganic compound. I'd like to say thank you.